Hello, welcome to our channel. So this is Jude. How are you? So in today's lessons, we are going to cover some important tips for IELTS writing test, right? So if you want to achieve the higher banner score for your IELTS writing, you want to know how to write and what a strategy and what the best strategy are there in IELTS writing, right? So today we are going to talk about all the IELTS strategies for IELTS writing. So let's see how we appear today. The best strategy for IELTS writing, right? So the first thing what you have to do is you have to work with a t-shirt. Right? Because you can write several samples essay and have them corrected by a teacher, right? If you cannot prepare for the IELTS writing sections of your allowance, you can do it by your teacher, right? Because you can receive feedbacks on your errors. As soon as you have writings and essay, you can receive feedback from your teacher. So what you have to do is you have to work with the teacher, right? And then you have to take a good guideline, right? Or works which will help you step by steps on your IELTS writing tests. Right. So here what you have to do, the first thing you have to work with the teacher to receive a recent feedback, right? As soon as you have written an essay, you can receive your feedback, right? So it is very helpful if you can if you can work with a teacher, right? So you have to find a teacher on your environment who can help in a correct way, right? So and then you have to work with a good guideline. So let's see the second thing what you have to do is in some practice tests or in the real exams, in the question they may say to do 3 or more different things, right? So at that time you have to jot them down, right? And make sure you address all of them in your answer, because the examiner will be checking for this on your answer sheet. So never forget this, and you have to aside from the main question. So what the second thing you have to do is you have to decide on the main question. Right? Let's see what other thing you have to do for your best IELTS writing, right? You have to practice within the given time, right? So it really doesn't matter if you can write a beautiful answer into 2 hours, right? So always create the conditions of the exams as closely as possible. When doing any kinds of the practice exercise, you have to create the conditions of the exam as closely as possible, right? So what you have to do, practice writings within the given time, right? Practice limited time, right? So what other thing you have to do? for your IELTS ready? You have to plan before you write, right? You have to plan before you. Even though you feel under pressure for times, spend the first few minutes planning your writing, right? So you have to decide what you are going to say and how you will expand on it, right? And when you know what to write, you can concentrate on how to write it best, right? So you have to plan before your writing, right? So let's see what other thing you have to do. You have to write in a organized way, right? When you have plans in advance, you will end up with a more organized, logical piece of writing, right? Which will earn you higher marks. So there are many ways to be organized: linear, circular, or other, right? After planning your essay, you have to make it logical piece of writing. So let's see what other thing you have to do is you have to stay on topic, right? You will be penalized if you stray off topics, right? So this is why the initial few minutes of planning can help you a great deal, right? So you have to stay on topic, right? And then divide your writings into paragraphs. It is confusing to be faced with a block of phrase with the no division, right? So you not expect to read a magazine article or book, right? So always divide your writing into paragraphs. So you have to write with a paragraph. Writing's paragraph is a good view of IELTS writing, right? And then you have to write clearly. What you have written, you have to write it clearly, right? This is not the times or place to experiment with new vocabulary, right? Or idiom. Never try to use any other different or advanced vocabulary or idioms when you are stuck on your IELTS writing, right? So you just need to use simple and clear English to get your idea across in a powerful way, right? So you have to write clearly, right? So, and then what you have to do to get a good IELTS score, you have to write legibly, right? Though your marks are not granted or taken away from for poor or massive rating, the examiner should be able to read what you have written without undue difficulty, right? So you have to write it legibly. And then finally, what you have to do is for your IELTS essay, you have to spell correctly what you have written, right? So you have to avoid careless mistake. Careless mistake is when you have spelled the same word in various ways in the same page of writing, right? A careless mistake is when you have spelled the same word in various ways in the same page of writing, right? Or when you misspell a word which is already given in the exam topic, and you all have to do is copy it correctly. That's not okay. Watch for this when you are practicing and resolve to overcome it. Resolve to overcome it. So, to get a good score for your IELTS writings, you have to practice with all these strategies. If you practice by using this strategy, I hope you will achieve your desired score, right? So let's revise a bit. First things, you have to work with a teacher and take a good guidelines, and you have to focus on your main question, right? And the practice within the limited time and plans before you writing, and whatever you write on your essay, you have to write it logically, right? And stay on topic, and whatever you write in your IELTS writing, try to write it into paragraph, right? So and then write whatever you write, and then write clearly and legible writing, right? So finally, you have to do it spell correctly whatever you write, right? You have to spell and write correctly, right? So I hope you understand all this strategy, what you have to do for your IELTS writing test, right? So I think these are for today's, and I will be present with the new lessons. So till then, take care, right?